Hey, what's up? This is Mom Life at its finest. I am Amber, and I am here to be that person that makes you feel better about your life. And as you can see, I've got so much laundry to do. This is just crazy. So I thought I would fold the laundry, talk with you, and just make this a sort of Laundro chat where I tell you a little bit more about myself and kind of my backstory and just random stuff. So if you are excited, please give this video a thumbs up. Please make sure and subscribe down below. I post videos all about how mom life is simultaneously the hardest and the best thing we are possibly going to be doing with our lives. And so I really want to focus on the highs, the lows, everything in between, and use both sarcasm and inspiration to motivate you to get a handle on your life. And as you can see, my life is a mess. So really quickly, the first thing I always do when I'm doing laundry is start by separating out the clothes into piles of whose stuff is where, and then when I fold it, it's easier to put it right away because everybody's same stuff is all together. So as you can tell then, or as you can imagine, it is super crazy. It is so loud, it is so messy, it is just so out of control in my house all the time. And then to make matters even more complicated, my husband and I both work full time. I am a professor and I absolutely love my job, but I started that before I had kids, and everything kind of led me down a career path that has been so rewarding and really feels like where, I am being called to be, but it is so hard to juggle with mom life. And I just didn't know that when I accepted my job. So, I'll talk in other videos about why I don't quit my job and stuff like that. But the bottom line is, again, that I really love it. And I feel very blessed to have the job opportunities that I have. But for any other working mamas out there, you know that just is a whole other layer to the stress, to the demands, to the exhaustion, and ultimately the overwhelm that we just find ourselves in. And so I've learned a lot of things the hard way. I've definitely gone through a lot of ups and downs. And one of the biggest things I've had to reconcile is just all the expectations I had in my head about what motherhood was gonna be like and what working mom life was gonna be like and all that stuff with my day-to-day reality. And then it's so easy to see other people that seem to have it all figured out. They seem to make it work. And I know by now that comparison is not helpful, and it's certainly the thief of joy, like everybody always talks about. And ultimately, all I want to do is be the best wife and mom and person that I can be. And again, just, I'm trying to figure this all out. But everything that I share on this channel is the stuff that I just wish someone would have told me or would have clued me in on before I had kids, when I was first starting out, or just to kind of sit with me in my struggles and help me know that I'm not alone. Because I did feel alone for so long. It's laughable as I look back, and you see things one way when you're going through them, and you see them another way in retrospect. So now I have a very different perspective on the things I've gone through, and I can really appreciate how they were all such an important part of my journey, and how I wouldn't be who I am today, and I wouldn't know what I know now without those hard things. So the first lesson, if you will, is just to appreciate where you're at, because as hard as the struggle feels, it really does have a purpose. And you are not alone, and you will get through this, and then you'll ultimately come out on the other side and be able to see what it was all for. So hang in there if you're struggling. So many clothes. This is just crazy. So as you can tell, I have my nice hot mom hairstyle going on, just walking around in lounge clothes today. I thought I would take a few minutes and fold these clothes while my kids are sort of occupied and quiet. I know you know how that goes. So when I had my first son, we had just moved across the country for me to start my professor job. We bought a new house. My husband was starting his job at a new location. We were, completely separated from our existing network, and we were so excited to become parents. We actually struggled a really long time to be able to have kids, and so every day I have to remind myself what a blessing it is that my dreams came true and I am a mom, and I now have 3 kids, which I just can't even believe. But in the moment, right when we moved and then we started our jobs, I had my son, and then I started teaching 2 weeks after he was born. It was absolutely crazy, and I do not recommend it, but I just didn't know better at the time. And it wasn't anything that my university, forced on me. I just was way too naive and thought I could do it all, thought it was gonna be no big deal. And I mean, that's an inexperienced mom for you. Before we have kids, we have no clue what we don't know. And I don't know, I used to be able to do so much. And then now with kids, I feel like I can't even do the simplest things sometimes. And I know you get that, right? You start doing one thing and you get constantly interrupted, or even when you have time, you just can't even really think about how to do what you have to do because you're just in that perpetual brain fog. And oh my gosh, I struggled with that so bad. So anyway, had my first son, started my first job, or my big new job, and was working and just got exhausted. I got so overwhelmed and ultimately culminated in a really bad depression. I almost committed suicide, which I'll talk about in another video. I'm kind of embarrassed and ashamed to say that I got that bad, but I did. And again, sleep deprivation was ultimately at the root of it. But I just want to underscore that we as moms have to take care of ourselves. And in order to be good moms, in order to live the mom life at its finest, we have to prioritize self-care, which is, in my case, usually the first thing to go, right? It's in our nature as moms to take care of everybody else's needs first. And at the end of the day, that really doesn't do anyone any good. So I really learned the hard way, and I definitely learned the hard way through that experience that I needed to take care of myself and that I needed to figure out a better way to balance all of the demands on my plate. How was I going to work and keep up with the demands of my job while also managing the demands of the household and trying to have time and energy for my husband and give everything I wanted to give to my kids? So that's obviously an ongoing journey, and it's what inspired me to start my other YouTube channel, Solutions for Simplicity. So as a side note, if you're not subscribed to that channel, go ahead and you can check out the videos that I will link for you in the cards as well as down in the description, because I post videos there that kind of cover all the things that I have researched using my academic research skills and then personally applied in my own life to help me get that handle on everything I needed to do. And so yes, we in the moment might want to throw in the towel, and then we might think it's so impossible to do what we have to do, but it's ultimately a choice. And what I learned is that there are very important, scientifically proven things we can do to make our day-to-day life easier. And I don't have it all figured out, so please don't ever think that. Of course, what I ultimately want you on this channel to see is the real inside glimpse of my daily life, which can be such a disaster. It's such a hot mess. And again, I have just really learned to laugh at it, because the alternative is it'll drive you crazy. It drove me crazy. I wanted everything to be perfect. I have such unrealistic expectations, and that just stressed me out. So now I not only try and do what I can, the best that I can, using the strategies and scientifically proven methods that I've learned, but I also I've really just learned to lower my standards a bit in the areas and on the things that aren't as important and that don't matter as much. And then that's helped me devote my primary time and energy to the things that are most important, which are my kids and my husband, my marriage, and the life that my husband and I are trying to build for our children. If you can relate, definitely let me know in the comments, and I'll just continue to share a lot more about that in every video that I make. So thanks for bearing with me. I don't mean to be rambling so much. I tend to be a person of many words, as you might have already figured out. So I just love this time to chat with you. Quick little laundry hack for you. I got these mesh bags for about 88 cents at Walmart, and I got one for each of my kids so that I can put all of the same kids' socks in one bag, and that way it makes folding them so much easier. Everything stays together. I don't know how, but I still end up with lonely socks. But for the most part, that's a real sanity saving tip. So a little bit more on why I started this channel was, again, because I just started realizing that I had so much more mom stuff I wanted to share than I was kind of able to fit into the themes on my other YouTube channel. And I also, I think there's something so special about the way that moms can connect with one another. It really is that club that you join when you have children, and that's not meant to exclude people who haven't had kids, but again, there's so much you don't know. I was that person that had dogs before we had kids, and we so thought that was in some way preparing us for being parents, and it was so not. It's really laughable to look back on that. I mean, we had a few sleepless nights and stuff like that, but it's just comical. Being a mom, it's not easy, and whether we work or whether we stay home, we just put so much pressure on ourselves to take care of everybody else and kind of create this life that we think it should be. And I firmly believe that we are capable of living a wonderful life. And I also have learned the hard way that the way to do that is to appreciate all the blessings all around you. There's this healthy balance we have to strive for of being ambitious and wanting to live an even more adventurous or ambitious life, while also just taking that moment to appreciate where we're at and stop thinking that who we are or what we're worth or our personal self-value is in any way determined by what we do or what we don't do, because that is not true, right? We are all amazing, and all mamas, all of us, we are so invested in taking care of our loved ones, so we need to give ourselves more credit. I love folding towels. I don't know why. That's just something that's so easy and kind of cathartic for me. It's like my little therapy session. Before I had kids, I was also that person that absolutely would never in a million years be seen in public in wrinkly clothes. I used to literally wait by the dryer for my clothes to be done, and I would take them immediately out of the dryer and fold them right away and, iron the things that needed to be ironed and put it all right where it was supposed to go. And now, with 3 kids and everything else going on, there is absolutely no way that is possible. So one of the ways that I've really lowered my standards, for better or for worse, is to get okay with wrinkly clothes. And I could invest in one of those, what are they called, like the steam cleaner things. They're actually not even that expensive. I could definitely get one of those, and I'm sure it would really help. But I just ultimately end up doing laundry a day or two a week. I am not that mom that is constantly running loads of laundry. I actually just try and specify a day or two of the week where I know I'm gonna do laundry. And if people are out of clothes until then, this is so awful, so embarrassing, but we have definitely pulled semi-dirty clothes out of the laundry hamper and reused them because, what are you gonna do? it's just, again, really impossible to keep up with everything. And laundry, house cleaning, it has fallen very, very, very far on my list of priorities. As my kids get older, I'm really trying to have them be more involved in the house cleaning. But again, my boys are just 6, just turned 5 and 2. And so it's still a little early, I think, for them to be doing a lot of this. I will mention in my other video how we ultimately put our clothes away, because I gave up on trying to do dressers, and we live in a 2-story house, so I wasn't going to be running the dirty and the clean clothes back and forth all the time. So what we actually do is have a cubby system where my kids can then just take their clothes, whether they're folded or not. They can take their pile of clothes and throw the things into their cubbies, and then we just kind of go with that. It makes life a lot easier, and then it's also a way that I get my kids involved. Would I like things to be perfectly folded and put away? Would I like this system to be different? Absolutely, but hey, other things are more important. I would much rather use the time to go out and play with my kids in the backyard, or sing a silly song and dance around the kitchen or something like that. I didn't always used to be that way, and I feel like I missed out on an awful lot of time that I could have been spending with my children, a few years ago, because I was so concerned with trying to immediately clean up every little mess that they made or that happened. And the frustrating thing, the exceedingly frustrating thing, as you know, about being a parent is, and especially a boy mom, is that things get dirty again as quickly as you clean them up. It's a never-ending task to try and keep a house in order. And I'm a very results-oriented person. I am that person that really, 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 get satisfaction from crossing something off a list and seeing the fruits of my labors. And that is clearly not compatible with having young kids and working full time. Or if it is, I haven't figured that out. So if you have, let me know in the comments what I'm doing wrong or what I could do better, because sometimes I really do imagine there's a better way. Again, some people make it look so easy, and that just isn't my experience. So, it is what it is. What I realize is that someday I'm actually going to be really, really sad when my kids grow up and my house is suddenly clean because there's no one here to take care of. I had that thought the other week, and it brought tears to my eyes, because as hard as this stage of my life is, as crazy as life can be on a day-to-day basis, I know these are the good years, right? Everybody tells us that. Everybody says don't wish time away, and to appreciate it and to hold on to these moments. And sometimes the reality is that is so hard to do. Or phrased differently, it's just so easy to get caught up in the little failures, the little struggles, and all the things that we feel like we are not doing right, all the ways that we feel like we're being a terrible mom, or we're not meeting the standards that we have for ourselves. I get it. I still wrestle with that all the time. And, I just want to be really open about that, because I struggle sometimes to appreciate how good these days are. But when I do realize it, when I have those moments, then it just makes me really stop and pause and be so thankful for the blessings that are all around. What else do you guys want to know? If you have questions or, other things you want to know about me, put them in the comments, because I want to make sure that I'm putting videos out that are, things you want to see, things you find helpful. So not only am I pretty much unable to get clothes right out of the dryer and folded, but a lot of times what I've even resorted to is what I call laundry mountain, where I have to get clothes out of the dryer so that I can put the new load in, and I don't have time to fold the clothes that are clean. So I just throw everything onto our downstairs bed and it piles up and this is so terrible, but there are times where my husband or my kids or we ultimately just grab clean clothes out of the laundry mountain on the bed to wear for that day because I didn't have time to fold it or sort it or anything, at least not yet for that week. So sometimes I wonder who lives like this, right? You might think I am absolutely crazy, but if you're a mom, if you are a mom of multiple kids close in age, and just someone that is trying to balance a lot of things on your plate, I would imagine that you can at least see a little bit of where I'm coming from. Sometimes I'm astounded at how many clothes we have. I typically try and be pretty minimal when it comes to the clothes that I get for certainly myself and also my kids. What I usually do is make sure everybody has a week's worth of shirts and pants for whatever season we're in. And then because I have all boys, I thought it was going to be so easy to pass clothes down, from one boy to the next. But what I'm learning the hard way as my boys get older is that they are very hard on their clothes, and it's really hard to keep clothes in good condition. My boys are constantly ripping the knees, scuffing the sides, they're staining their shirts. In fact, it drives me so crazy. Do your kids do this? At the table, my kids will eat and get their hands dirty and then they just wipe them down the front of their shirt. And I'm always like, you guys, come on. How many times have I asked you to use a napkin or, go get a hand wipe or something like that? I don't know. It is a never-ending battle. I'm trying so hard to teach my kids these simple life skills, but apparently we are not born knowing all this good stuff. All right, I made some progress, but I'm gonna have to leave and go to an appointment now. So thank you so much for watching. I'll continue this another time. I'm so thrilled to meet you, to connect with you. Please make sure and subscribe down below. I'm Amber. This is Mom Life at its finest, at its craziest, and I'll see you next time with another video.